a disconnect between the reason why somebody might resonate well or not with the legacy of Uncle Ben, because if your preface for how you feel about Uncle Ben comes from recently information that was not like falsified by the AI, but the AI helped with the falsification, including the voice of the person who was talking about the history of Uncle Ben. They made him. They chose a black sounding voice, but you don't know who it is that's writing this. You understand, right? Or who it is that's telling it what to say, as far as, because somebody will try to gatekeep, and if they have a reason, even if you're dead, they will still arrest you. Uncle Ben was arrested at work. His recognizable face on his products. He's not probably the most recognizable face in the world to date. He was for a couple decades, without using fear to accomplish that, like Stalin and Pol Pot, or whoever he had around, because he had a mansion in their country and his face was blown up on the side of a building bigger than theirs, or whatever it is. Like, maybe just if they could be as recognizable as him or something, like there would be like less, because most recognizable face in the world. They focused in on something that was true, which was that he was a worker. So they're not telling you in the sense of like he worked hard and then became the spirit of American entrepreneurship. The issue that they have with it, the people who put out this false information, the issue that they have with it is because Uncle Ben represents capitalism. So they would say that Uncle Ben isn't black. He's like a traitor, because he's incentivized by capitalization. Then, which is, for some people, you can only either be very wealthy or not have anything. So some people just choose in having lots of mansions, or owning assets or something, evaluating them so that people would bring you more assets when you're right about those assets. Like when you help price discovery, you get a reward. You're not going to be able to escape that. Even if you live in a communist country, the government of that country still has a GOP or something. They still have something that they trade or barter with. Like they could, like, you're forced to make gains against the capital that, you're forced to use capital. So people who would be considered capitalists seek to make gains against the capital that they're being forced to use it. Because even with fiat, you're gambling. You have a position on the stability of that not being evaluated, so you have to evaluate to know how diversified and how much do you want to invest into the bank. It's weird. Like they heard that and they were like, oh, that means that we don't have to pay you to let us hold your money. You can pay us to let us hold your money. And then we just kind of accept that. Like, we've enriched them. As evidence of that, we've enriched them. So they were saying that he was a worker that had the best method, that capitalists, seized upon, and didn't cut him any royalties or anything like this. But himself in real life, not the AI, was jet set. He was actually an entrepreneur. There was a movie about him. Maybe I'm having false memory syndrome, but he was depicted on another movie. So, Full Metal Jacket or something like that. Like there was a blown up. His face was had been blown away, like everything blown away by the bullets and the gun and the bombs and everything. But you could still see that it was an impression that it was Uncle Ben. So that was something Oliver Stone knew about in order to include it. Like in the 70s, he was just still like he was maybe still the most recognizable face in the world during the 70s. And so like to try to recreate that time period, you have to include Uncle Ben. Now, is it just his face? Like, did they take this guy's idea and his likeness, right? Or make up a false likeness to compliment him for the idea and then have all of the prosperity? Because if that's what they're trying to say, that would be new to me. I've walked past in the same general area because I don't know what one mansion looks like next to another one. Like he has a mansion in Hillsborough, which is in, you know, like in the Bay Area, there's, which is areas is like Hillsborough, Atherton. I only hear about like a couple places. Like imagine being rich in Palo Alto or San Francisco and having like a mansion in one of those cities. But no, that made it sound like I didn't know. But no, he definitely has an estate in Hillsborough. I'm trying to remember if there was a movie about him in like the 80s. So this would make it like really hard to look up. But if you find it, I don't know if it's a false memory. But if you find it, I mean, I've looked for Uncle Ben history, Uncle Ben movie to see what pops up on the internet. You know, because you have to interrogate the AI and shit. I mean, the fact that you don't know if the voice that you're listening to is just somebody typing in what they want you to hear from his perspective. This has happened because he represents capitalism to them. I wouldn't even go that far. I would just say he was the spirit of American entrepreneurship. I wouldn't say he represented capitalism. Somebody who's thinking just like this, he represents capitalism. So they have to arrest him. And it's crazy. I never thought that anybody would be able to be arrested after they kicked the bucket. They croaked, okay? Like, where are you going to go find him and arrest him? At work. On his products. Facial recognition. That was like, he could do that, not be here. And it's like, you know, like we try to set up autonomously running, scalable, functional business inside of a closed microecology and see if it, you know, like if it can scale or something. Like, I don't know, it's like weird how we describe shit. I'm making up shit, but like we know it has a lot of potential and a market, but is it scalable? Yeah, you have to scale the market, huh? That's the well, it's like, it's not exactly the business model. It's just like what gets people to contribute neuroplasticity in order to evolve a company, because submerged assets could still have nice pattern development on or like it can find a different type of niche that it's hard to think about, like Uber, you know. It's like well, a lot, like the great ideas are like always around. It's the timing and the rollout of it. And sometimes even the best products or the best are not the you know, what's they make a huge deal to standardize or something. They find another product that would be better, cheap, or like more, I don't know, in some way better. And it's like they come out with a banhammer or something. And think about amaranth. Like, it's not illegal for the same reason it was illegal when the Spanish were trying to take away the staple food of the Aztecs in order to defeat them, right? So, of course, outlaw it, even though it grows there. Some species could come more prominent and like have a surge to come back, and we would think they were invasive that were actually already here. There's like, lots of variants anyways. Like, why wouldn't there be a variant if it already likes the conditions and it grows here? Like, but that's just things that we'll have to get into, because if you eat the right, like, what's it called, like habitat, like foods that grew in your area naturally, then your immune system would stratify to it and it would get bolstered. Does that sound like Akashic Records or something? I wouldn't give a fuck if that was the Akashic Records or not. Like, it's documented, peer-reviewed, like, like, information. So, but the food industry definitely has opted for, like, like foods that are transportable, which makes sense. We kind of need it to be that too. So there's always like have to be an incentivized for that to get over here if we need it, or for us to start growing it if it was illegal, or I mean, they forced people to grow marijuana on marijuana ops, which are like in pristine nature places where they would be hidden if it was like legal for, not right now, but if it was like legal for them to do it in like in an urban area, like with just like a lot of greenhouses or a parking lot or something, they could do it. So why would they choose to allow it, and let nature get fucked over by it? All kind of booby traps and shit, like plastic lines of where for irrigation, fucking PVC and shit, like I don't know, different chemicals that people use to trick the roots into or like at certain particular time flower, or at a particular time like push out more bud, or like you could just go around and push like toothpicks into this plant stalk and get it to bud more. Like, we just I don't know if people just always choose the weird option, which is just to be like, I'm gonna grow like a natural plant that's like all unnatural and shit. Like, we're gonna do like chemicals that are work the best and everything, not like, and then you would forget how to do it if you didn't rely on it. Like, you would forget methods to do it. Like, oh, you're like, this is crazy. So if we have that choice all this time, and we're thinking about that, we would have looked around if it isn't immediately available. But I think that's why you got to be working all day, so you wouldn't have the availability to like be looking up stuff, like, or if that's what you're supposed to do, then you have to pick a whole different avenue. It's like you just have to decide not to do what you're doing anymore, and something else, which at first would be extremely it would be difficult. No, I'm not saying that they have to, because everybody doesn't need to have the idea. But you can't say that it represents how many people have the idea or the better ideas. It doesn't say that it's not a large percentage of the population. You just can't have it. You can have some sugar, sodium, soy lecitate, syrup, corn syrup, like sawdust and noise and light, and you have to be in a hurry all the time. Like, well, no, I mean, when you actually decide not to be in a hurry, and I'm just like kicking it, then you're actually kicking it. You're not in a hurry then. It isn't that. But you pick those times according to what fits in your hurry schedule. So it's like if people keep telling me that like you should do this or be at that, and it's complimentary too, but maybe you can you can infer, what's it called, that you've seen the devil come out of me or something. Or you could think it's funny and just be like, oh, you are the devil, you know, like, of course it's not going to matter to me if I know that means something or is not real, or I'm not the actual devil. I'm not going to try to over-explain, but it means like detail. People always say that thing about it means live backwards, but it's complementary. It's not necessarily always backwards. The devil that we think about is a combination of a Satyricon and a Crossroads demon and a Notary Republic. Somebody gets you to sign and they know how to write contracts. But if you learn how to write contracts, you're not the devil, you know. You're the devil if you scored freaking 90 points in a professional basketball game or something. See? So you have to be conscious of we're referring to it in a different way. Like, how much so are you? The devil actually isn't guilty of that many such things as like something that would be worse than the devil, that we still have to wonder what that might be, even though it's pushed out by the antithesis in the hierarchy. But okay, so now we maybe call him the adversary. He's adversarial. Okay, so adversarial, not a big deal, like, but the adversary, then I guess it's not complimentary to be an adversary. But that anybody can make up that for themselves. I just think that my ideology is superior. I just think that, like, you know, and so do you. Like, what? Like, because like some words, like, if you talk about a petri dish, you know, like somebody said, like, you are a petri dish of fucking COVID because you didn't fucking have that fucking hot mask on, or it's like, you know, moist fucking chin and everything. A petri dish is a pathology when it has a live culture growing out of a substrate medium that is like the pathology is like how it's like sustained in that environment. So like even the scientist looking at it has like a more nuanced pathology. So like you can study a pathology as a live culture and an enclosed microecology. Like that's a culture. It's a culture. It's a live culture though. So when we say like alive culture, when you say those things, right? That's not my opinion. It's biology, like the actual people that do the science themselves. That's their tools of their trade. That's like the words that they use to describe it. So like we're sensing that like it's off. Certain terms are taboo now, like, and we should be polarizing for galvanization, because we already seen that coming from the east. If you go there, you can see it. Like the reductive reasoning is the result of galvanization. That's why they're polarizing. People are polarizing, and they're now there are words that like you can't say, right, on the internet, right? It's like to make room for the internet, but that's only supposedly, like, we make that up because a fucking AI can't write bad reports. It's you can tell that it's a human when it's a bad report, but you can tell the AI is helping them. It's like and the thing is, I don't know exactly who is putting it out. I thought I knew for a second, and then I realized, like, oh no, it could be one of those other groups. Like, I thought, oh, must be information being put out by an opposition party. Then it's like, wait a minute, like, they're being co-opted by a bunch of groups, and they're enabling those groups in order to stay afloat, because they're like, okay, the alternative, so that they could still polarize you. It's not going to require any help. It's not going to require anybody to help out with duality. Like, you can't escape duality. Like, why would you need to hold up or support or proliferate or like establish or anything like convey duality? Because nobody can already escape. It's like it's futile. It's futile. The whole point is not to, for as long as you would say you were lucky, right? Because you didn't escape duality, sooner. You had a long life, like a long, good life and everything. You had more of it. So like, like, you're still, a risk taker is better than being deceased, right? Like, damn, you're like, sometimes you don't worry about the, like, consequences or something, but you're, still alive though. They're getting prepared to tell you to stay dangerous. They're preparing to tell you to stay dangerous. It's patronizing us with this misinformation about Uncle Ben. They're patronizing us and trying to placate us to join who though. Like, I'm making the allegation, but like, some people might have different idea about who it is that's causing the impetus for erasure because of what they represent, right? I'm not even mad. I'm not saying this like I'm past it. I did it with the knowledge. Uncle Ben doesn't care. He's dead. Why would you make this such a big deal? So don't care about it, but it's not me that they're going to be fucking up. Should I not care because it's not me that they are misleading? It's not, I can't be misled to anymore. I know it's the fucking AI. How am I being misled if I can see Uncanny Valley and wonder who's actually, like, that's what you're supposed to do. So, that would be normal, right? Even though you can't subscribe to, like, normal, what's that? But, that would be a working brain. And so what's the alternative? Even if I want to join up, there's like actually no way to join up with them, because I think that whole shit is dead. Like, hiding behind it, like you can crank out a bunch of fucking. That's what makes me think it actually is Russia, because they don't make good propaganda. They make a shit ton of bad propaganda, and as long as it's an overwhelming amount of bad propaganda, they feel like they can get their point across that way. and whatever they're getting the point across would be what, end games or something. It's to, you know, to undercut or like find ways around the hegemony of the manifest destiny. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, the hegemony. There's still going to be always belligerents in theaters, like when it's like playing Who's the Boss at that level. Then it's like, who has the next contract 5 years from now for whatever type of like satellite drones and whatever shit. Do you have advanced polymer science? Like, do you have are those advanced, those like in polymer science, like they need to make the oils for the viscosity for like the little like needle sized drones, like the ones that are like big as a little dragonfly. Like they can almost do it, but it requires advanced polymers and then the oils that go along with that, because they're all go to different oils, or it will have it'll, you know, like if you put mixed oil in your car, it'll congeal. So we need those advancements in polymer science so that we can always be needed, just like you know, like Kaiser Soze. Don't kill me, don't kill me. You can't kill me. You can't kill me, you need me. But I mean, that's not a creative mentality. That's like a more like survival type of, I'll do anything it required to get where I gotta be, and such to the extent that they made the move, and all of the gangsters that were sent there to kill him were shocked, and he already made the move. He laid waste to his own family, and they watched him, so they were like, who the fuck is this guy? And they called their bosses back, and they were like, who the fuck is Kaiser Soze? Because he made the move that you were telling us to move. Like, we didn't have to do it.